Welcome to my first vegetable garden. Today we're going to plant peas. This bed's about 3 feet wide, 6 feet long. You want to plant peas 2 to 3 inches apart. I tend to plant mine a little bit more closely together, but 2 to 3 inches apart. Rows should be 2 to 3 inches apart. You're going to put in 1 pea seed per hole. I'll show you how to do that. And I'm keeping it simple. There's other ways to do it, but this is the best way I think to grow peas if you're just getting started. So last year I fixed this space up a little bit with some compost. I put grass clippings on there. I'm going to weed it out a little bit, and then I'm just going to move everything to the side, and then we're just going with a planting hole of about 1/2 inch deep. I'll show you how to do it. Today I'm growing shelling peas. These are green arrow. There's 3 types of peas real quick. There's the flat pods. They're called snow peas, kind of like what you find in Chinese food. Then you have snap peas, which you can eat the pod and the peas. Those are usually called sugar snaps. And then you have shelling peas, where you can't eat the pod. I really like these the most. I think that peas taste the best. You have to shell the pea, take the peas out of the pod, and you can eat them. And I usually just eat these by the handful. So to set up the soil, I did about 3 inches apart, so 3-inch spacing. The holes can be 1/2 inch to 1 inch deep. If it's nice loose soil, you can go a little bit deeper. You want to plant peas when the nights are staying in the 40s, sometimes 50s. The days are getting into the upper 50s and 60s. These are one of the first seeds you can direct sow, so you want to get these in early. Now, peas have hollow stems, so you also need some sort of support. You could use tree branches. These are just bamboo posts. I just want to show you how I set this up from kind of this angle from up here. So I have 1 row started right there. You can see the holes, and then about every 8, well, probably every 10 to 12 inches, I put in a bamboo post. And then I have 3 more rows for the peas, more bamboo posts, 3 more rows, bamboo posts, and then 1 row on the outside. Since they have hollow stems, they need support, or when you go to pull on them, they're going to snap. If it gets windy, they're going to fall over. So the peas tendrils will kind of hug each other, but then they will also hug on to the bamboo posts or the tree branches, and your peas will stay supported. So now that I have this set up, I'm just going to drop in 1 pea per hole. Now I have other videos where I plant these more closely together, 2 peas per hole, and I'm just dropping it in at least 1/2 inch deep, and I would go all the way through. That's all you really do. After I'm done here, I will show you how to plant peas in a container. Because I set this soil up pretty well last year, I'm not putting down any organic granular fertilizer. You could just kind of dust some on there across the top. You could put down some compost. You'd want to work it into the top 2 inches. But peas can fix their own nitrogen. That means they can take nitrogen out of the air. So they don't need a lot in the way of fertilizer. The soil should drain well. Your biggest enemy to peas is sitting in heavy clay soil where they stay damp, it's not warm enough, and instead of germinating, they rot. So you want some good drainage. And the soil is nice and loose. This is going to drain really, really well. After we're done, we're going to water these in with a water-soluble fertilizer, and that will be enough to get these started. Just soak them in. They'll germinate. Also at the end of the video, I'll talk to you about a little trick if you want to speed up germination in your, well, when you're planting peas. I might as well tell you the trick now. These peas are dry, which is fine. I know that I can plant in the beginning of March. My peas do really well here. You could soak these for about 4 hours. Just cover them in water. You want them to swell up a little bit. After 4 hours, drain them out, put them in a damp paper towel, wait about 24 to 48 hours. The peas will actually sprout just a little bit, and then you can come out here and just drop them in a hole, just like I'm dropping in the peas now, dry but slightly sprouted, swollen with water. That's going to speed up germination, and that reduces the risk of the peas being planted rotting instead of germinating. But you know, again, soak them 4 hours, 6 hours, something like that. Take them out of the water, damp paper towel, 24 to 48 hours. They're going to be swollen, and you're going to see a little tip breaking out. That's when you can go ahead and drop your pre-moistened peas. In case you're interested, this is 8 rows, 7 peas per row. That's 56 peas in this little space. And then just gently cover them over, and then we're going to water them in. All right, let me show you how to set up containers for growing peas. Germination can be as soon as 7 days, but it can take anywhere from 7 to 21 days, depending on how cold your soil is. So the peas that are dropped in dry, mid 40 degree nights, upper 50, 60 degree days, somewhere between probably 7 and 14 days. If it's colder, it's going to take 14 to 21 days for them to germinate. The peas that you pre-soak or pre-sprout a little bit, if you let them go for that 48 hours, they should germinate more quickly. That's the benefit again of those. Once the plant's here about an inch tall, maybe 2 inches tall, I'm just going to take the mulch that I pushed to the side, sprinkle it around them, and they're good to go. All right, now we'll get to the containers. Peas do really well in containers. These are fabric pots I sell at my seed shop. These are 10-gallon. The one over there is 20-gallon, both perfect for growing peas. Container soil warms up sooner, drains better, so it's a perfect environment for your peas. Now, because your containers really don't hold as much nutrients as the ground, because the root systems can penetrate down, you're going to have to do a little bit more. So I'd like to put in a handful in a 10-gallon container of any organic granular fertilizer just across the top, and then really mix it in. And you can notice how loose the soil is. A good 4, maybe 6 inches deep. And that's going to be your slow release fertilizer. The microbes in the soil will break that down over the weeks and months. You also want to make sure you put in some kind of trellising. So this is just, again, some poles kind of teepeed together at the top, just tied at the top, forms a teepee shape, and then I just take some jute and put it around there. For the peas in here, I'm going to still stick with about every 3 inches, so about ½ an inch to an inch deep. That's about 3 inches. Something like that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just call it 11. 11 peas are going to go into that space, 1 pea per hole, and then I'll cover it over and we'll water these in. You really want to soak these in well. It's really important that the peas swell up. They're large seeds, so they need to stay moist for a bit. And you can water, especially in March. If it doesn't rain, once a week, that's going to be plenty of water. So that will get some water-soluble fertilizer down there. When the plant germinates, roots, it'll have this fertilizer to use immediately. But remember, the peas can fix their own nitrogen. We're going to walk right over to here. That's where I am planting in the beds, and you're just going to do the same thing. Just really soak them in. Again, water about once a week. When the peas get to about 6 to 8 inches tall, you could give them another drink of water-soluble fertilizer, and that should be plenty in the way of nutrients. Peas do really well. I highly recommend them. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com, and please subscribe. I'll help teach you how to grow food, have fun, and how to save some money. Thanks for watching.